Alissa?
So first of all, we need to acknowledge that anytime there's a loss of life, the public has every right to have an emotional response and to mourn the loss of life. And mass shootings are no exception to that. In fact, it adds to the grief that people experience because of the senselessness of that tragedy in almost every situation. Unfortunately, a lot of the gun debate is linked to the mass shootings, where people did not have the opportunity to defend themselves in most cases. Many of those shootings take place in schools. I'm a teacher, and I can tell you, I keep a stack of canned goods, green beans, in my classroom. I have a stuffed green bean for a lesson on economics, and then canned green beans that my students know from day one as part of our safety procedures. This is our arsenal. These are the tools with which we get to arm ourselves and serpentine the heck up out of here if an armed aggressor comes into our building. And that's unfortunate. The federal government response to curb gun violence actually needs to be educating people on firearms safety. I think that everyone should have a healthy respect for firearms and not fear a tool in someone's hands. And then removing the obstacles of the gun-free zones, which create soft targets out of individuals who would otherwise be able to defend themselves. Other appropriate federal government interventions would be grant funding for more counselors in schools to reach people early on, especially those most at risk for their mental health because of the breakdown of our family structure and people who are agitated and unable to articulate their feelings. But we need to have a proper response, not an emotional one, when we're talking about our federal government legislating interventions. And then I also think that repealing the gun-free zones altogether would be a necessary step towards restoring our rights as law-abiding citizens, because here's the bottom line. Criminals don't follow the law. That's the very definition of criminal. And so we need to make sure that law-abiding citizens can do our part to step up when faced with a threat.
I'm in violent agreement with Alissa Baldwin. I think you're absolutely right. Thank you for hitting on that. I didn't get time for that.
I appreciate your vote on June 23rd, Tom.
Well played, Alissa. We'll all trade votes. That'll be perfect. That's an accountability mechanism, though.